Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Arms of mine, they are lonely, lonely and feeling blue. These arms of mine, they are yearning.
Welcome back. 1017. You'll never understand what we were just. That's my favorite part about this, Paul. You know, they always go, "What are you saying off the air?" And I never really. That's for us to enjoy. I always tell people that's the better segment. Paul, you are currently a board member for Madison County, and you're representing the 23rd District, correct?
Yes, sir.
And now this is your first term in office.
Yes.
Correct. Take me through this first term. How's it been so far?
Wow.
Good starter question. Huh?
The crash course in, being an elected office. Let's say I got it pretty quick first couple months. Well, I'm obviously everybody knows it's kind of a volatile time in Madison County, especially in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
There's obviously two sides that are going at it all the time. You can listen to county board meetings. A lot of stuff's recorded on audio. It's a lot of conduct. It's, not why I got involved in politics. Just a lot of conduct I think is very unprofessional. It's not why our constituents sent us there.
Yeah.
They didn't send us out there to do personal grievances, or you got a problem with this person's friend, or this happened years ago.
I just never understood
So
the
we're going to
name
go after you. There's a lot of important stuff in our county.
Yeah.
As a county board member, we watch over, a lot of spending. We can't legislate. We're not congressmen, women. We're not state reps. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we watch where, money's being spent. County employees, certain appointments for certain boards, that kind of make the county go around. It's more complex than a lot of people think, and we're not, whether people think we are. They think we're little Congress, like I said, members of Congress, but we're really not.
Well, and that's what I wanted to ask you first, because you're, now almost completed your first term in office as the board member. How frustrating is it at times, because you have these ideas and you're, kind of a little bit handcuffed by state legislature a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Is that a big learning curve whenever you get in the county board seat?
Yeah. You can do resolutions, certain things to bypass some of the stuff, but no, a lot of stuff's got to be changed in the state house. So yeah, that is frustrating, but you do what you can do, and then you communicate with your, state reps. And so my state reps, Katie Stewart, we're ideologically very far apart, so there's not a lot of communication. I have spoken to her, though. Nothing mean-spirited. We just opposite sides.
Right.
So you try to go to your state reps, and we do have some good state reps around here. So I think Amy Elk served this district, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a very good state rep.
And she does a wonderful job.
Oh, very nice lady.
I wanted to ask you more about the Republican caucus a little bit, because we talked on the phone a little bit about
you talking about the Conservative Caucus?
Yes.
Okay.
If that's okay, because this is a little bit confusing to me, and I'm honest about what I don't know, so I leave it. The floor is yours, Senator. Fill me in on the Conservative Caucus and how it's a little bit different.
Well, I'm glad you're shining light to the Conservative Caucus. The only really journalist to touch on it was Kelsey Landis about a year and a half ago out of St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and that was just kind of when we were getting the caucus started. We ran a lot of candidates in the primaries. In 2022, I think we went 5-1 against the Republican establishment, and then we moved 5 county board members over to the general, and then we helped clerk out Linda Andres for her campaign.
Really?
So yeah, we. A lot of work. A lot of people might think it's neat. Oh, you're going against the system, and I'm like, all that stuff's fine. But there's a lot of work. We got to raise our own money, get our own mailers, come up with our own ideas, and being new and going against something very established, no matter what walk of life you're in, is very hard, let alone in politics.
Well, and now take me through this. So this is a different spin. This is a different facet of the Republican Party of Madison County, correct? Well,
and here's the thing with the Republican Party. I really like a lot of people that I serve with, a lot of our precinct committee people. I'm part of the Collinsville Township Republicans, great township. I interact with them good. We help each other. The rank and file, I think, is pretty good. I think the upper, I know the upper level people in the Republican Party, people kind of run it, including Chairman Wesley. They are really not worried about conservative issues. Take, for instance, like a bunch of Republicans, elected officials, including Ray, our chairman, back to Mayor David Goins of Alton. Okay. That was what? 2-3 years ago. So the years kind of run together. I apologize. But so, he's not a bad guy, but like ideologically, he's not a Republican. So why is the Republican Party getting behind this guy? And most people in the party didn't want to do it. They're really upset. So that's kind of when I started to notice a pattern here. I'm like, well, wow, some of these elected officials.
That's a good, but not to cut you off, but that raised a lot of questions because a lot, and I'm not taking shots at anybody today. I hope you realize that watching at home. But that was a question at the time of the 2021 election was, whoa, when did this happen here?
Right, and that was a big to-do, especially with the Alton conservatives. They're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So, then I thought that was like a one-off deal. We gave Ray a talking to, like a lot of people who came to the Central Committee were unhappy with some of our elected officials. And that's kind of when as a precinct committee, man, I just kind of was starting to go to those here and there. So I'm like, well, okay, is this maybe just an isolated incident? And then I noticed a pattern over the years. And we'll circle back to this throughout our interview.
For sure.
That, man, it just seems like they don't care if they are a Democrat, if they have their values or not. They will just back them against another Republican just because they're not. Just because they're part of our group or they're not part of their club.
No, that's what I was going to ask. And
they don't have a problem. Like some establishment Republicans do not have a problem working with Democrats to beat other Republicans. That is a fact. So that's something we noticed in the caucus when we formed it in 2022. We're like, there's a lot of Republicans there, and there's a lot of Democrats who are coming to the Republican side, which I encourage.
Yeah.
But like a lot of them come and they run as Republicans, govern as Democrats. So, and my thing is too, I'll welcome you to our party. If you're a Democrat, I'll even help you on your campaign. But what I don't think is good is like if you've been a Democrat, say, most of your life, up until a year or two ago, you don't run against an established Republican who's got a good voting record. I just don't see that.
Well, and here's my question: do you think that folks are running as Republican only with the Republican R in front of them only because if you look at the statistics, exactly, do you think that has a lot to do with it?
I think that has a ton to do with it. If you look at the countywide races, the Democrats didn't even bother to field anybody. Yeah, maybe they'll slate some people. I don't know.
Now, how does that work in terms of? I don't want to put you on the spot. I just curious. In general, let's say there's no Democrat running in the primary for chairman. How long does that party have to run a candidate in the general election if they don't primary?
I think it's around the summer.
Is it? That's what I was curious about.
And they might have moved it back a little bit because in 2022 they had late primaries, which I like better for weather because I love to campaign, but weather's bad
when it's 14 degrees outside.
I campaigned Saturday, man. It was rough, but we got to do it. Time's wasting. So I think it's in the summer. I think if Kurt wins, most definitely they'll slate somebody. If Chris wins, I'm not sure.
In your viewpoint, to me, it seems like it's a pretty close race, right? I don't have a pulse on it, so I don't know. From my gathering, it seems like half or kind of, it's a half and half.
I don't see it that way.
Okay.
And me and Treasurer Slusser, we have a good personal relationship. I talked to him a couple weeks ago about like trash. Our interactions with each other are good. Just to be honest with you, certain things about his tactics, real personal stuff. Yeah. And, really going to smear people sometimes. I don't think he needs to do that. I don't think really politicians in general need to do that. They need to talk about issues and, they did this bad, like from a policy standpoint, not really go after them. And
well, no, I feel to say I've always
Chairman Prenzler for the most part is pretty good about that, about not going there. But I think one of the taglines I see a lot of people saying who are supporting him, obviously I'm supporting Chairman Prenzler. Everybody knows that. They say vote Republican, vote Slusser. Isn't that redundant?
Yeah.
Why would you tell me? You're not going to tell me to vote Republican. I'm going to. So I think what they're trying to make a play, to get Democrats to grab Republican ballots because you can do that in the state of Illinois.
Right.
Because I think they know if it was just a normal year where Democrats got a lot of people in the primaries, just a straight up Republican primary, I don't think it'd be close. I think Kurt would win pretty convincingly. He's won 4
no, it's a
countywide elections. That's that's their strategy.
Yeah.
Nothing illegal about it.
No.
Is it ethical? Oh, man, that's where people say, maybe not. As a Republican, I just want to make sure I'm voting for a Republican. And that gets to the reason why we started the caucus.
Exactly. That was my follow-up. I'm glad. Yeah.
And then, I was appointed for an empty board seat in 2021. And, there's 2021 was a crazy year for me.
Yeah.
Like 2019 and 2021, those were the most game-changing years of my life. 2019, I had my C6 collapsed in my neck.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was, I've done jiu-jitsu and various martial arts, good chunk of my life. And, it's caught up to me. I was almost 41. I went from benching 400 pounds and not being able to pick up 40 pounds. So yeah, I got my
That's
disc
a
replaced.
danger. I was in pro wrestling, and anytime you heard that one get thrown out for being ruptured, that's a nightmare. Terrible.
I got lucky. I listened to my doctor. I was very low key most of 2019. I got their surgery in April of 2019, and then I was good to go by the fall. I was doing good workouts. I was getting most of my physical size back. And then, obviously no more competitive martial arts. So I was getting old anyway.
Right.
I'll be 46 next month. I mean, there's a shelf life for combat sports.
That's very true.
Some have longer ones than others. So then 2020, obviously COVID happened. That was the most game-changing thing I think ever happened to America.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, maybe we'll have to see. World War II was pretty game-changing, but like we're still feeling the effects and the damage of that. And that's why I decided to step it up more politically. I had more time. I wasn't, training a lot of jiu-jitsu so I had more time to do it. And I said, plus our country's just completely wrecked right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they closed schools, churches, restaurants, businesses, like the gyms, the martial arts places I've been training at over the years, like just closed.
Yeah.
Well, it just happened like that.
Paul, people really got mad at me because they thought I was, on a different side of the coin here. And all I was worried about were the kids that were abused at home that were forced to sit at home with their abuser because they couldn't have that safe spot in school. And so I get that. And I was the one that people just went after me for saying it. But it's like, we really didn't look after those vulnerable individuals like we should have during that time.
They were the least likely to get hurt by COVID, but they took the worst beating.
100%.
Can you imagine being 10, you're playing, Little League, and you can't do that anymore. You can't see your friends. If you don't wear a mask, you're going to kill your grandparents. Yeah. I mean, what we did I think we're going to see the effects of that throughout life.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
We have all these mental issues now. I mean, just from the kids I was seeing at the school I trained at, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, there's something going on here. This just isn't good. So I got involved, and I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole with COVID conspiracy theories. Right. I just didn't trust the shutdowns like that because certain things were open. It didn't make sense. And then 2020, they had all those riots, and then all of a sudden, you can get in large groups if it's the protest. Turned into riots,
yeah,
right?
True.
And it seemed like they were just kind of excused, and that kind of scared me. That was large scale violence and destruction. That was that nobody tried to stop.
Right.
It looked like some kind of warfare. Yeah. If you saw like those footage burning and violence and burning of buildings, it looked like, urban warfare.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's scary because, I mean, that horse is kind of out of the barn now. People did it once. Will they do it again? Let's hope not. As a country. So I got heavily involved then. And then 2021, I came back to the stage after my neck injury. Wasn't sure if I could handle prep, getting your body fat.
Well, I'm sure, because that's a big, big undertaking.
Well, getting your body fat so low and getting your body dried out. I mean, when you do shows like that, you get so lean, especially on the elite pro level. It just changes your mind, changes you as a person, kind of.
I bet.
Having low body fat being,
and your low water intake
calorie
at that
deficit,
time, right?
No.
Oh, water intake's up?
Everybody does it differently.
Okay.
I figure water goes to fat, water goes to muscle. If I'm lean, I don't have much fat on my body. It's going to go to my muscles.
Interesting.
I don't pound a gallon of water before I get on stage, but I really don't change much up with my water.
Really interesting.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, if someone might say I don't know what I'm doing, but that's fine. They have more than one way to skin a cat.
People say that to me all the time, But,
so I did a couple shows. I did really good. And then in October, I won the 2021 IPE Masters World Championship. That was a big deal. And at the time, I was going through the appointment process on the county board, and I got moved to Minnesota for work. I had to go help out a facility down there. So it was just like
about a 14-hour drive,
Well, no, it was a plane ride. My company took care of me. It was actually kind of fun. I was gone 3 weeks. By the time the third week came, I was ready to go. But I went from Memphis next day to Minnesota, and I didn't get back home till like late October. So I was gone almost a month.
Interesting. Wow.
And Kurt, when he appointed me, I was like, well, Kurt, I'm not sure if I said, I'd love to be on a county board. I'm not sure if my voters would be receptive. I said, people tell me they want me to run for something all the time. So I got like 300 signatures. And that was in about 10 days because I had to go to Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
And Memphis. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be a shoe-in because, I didn't really know a lot of people. I didn't do the behind the scenes political stuff, but I worked on signature drives. I worked on campaigns. Erica Harris, Chris Guy. Erica kind of talked me into going further with it.
Really cool.
Really nice person.
She's a great
really
state
sincere.
senator. Really great.
Great state senator just because she is. People love her sincerity. That's how she's always been. I've known her since high school. So, I'm not going to dwell on this too much, but my appointment got blocked, and it was led by a group of Republicans, believe it or not.
Okay,
yeah.
now this is interesting, and this ties into, I'm sure, the Conservative Caucus again.
Sure.
But so you get your appointments. What was the reasoning they blocked your appointment?
It's untrue stuff. I'm not even going. I'm not going to give those out the light of day. It's just as I look back now, 2.5 years later, it's because Kurt appointed me.
Okay.
There's a pattern of them just blocking certain people because Kurt appoints them.
Okay.
No logic to it. We'll get more to that later. So, like, I was talking to Dwight Kay. I worked on his campaign. Former state rep. Really impressive guy. Former CEO of Cassins. Just a really knowledgeable, smart, educated, lived life. Yeah. And I was talking to him and my friend Lee Wathen. He used to work for Prime America. He's the chief executive of the Conservative Caucus. They're like, we need to start a new group. They're like, guys like you aren't getting led into the Republican Party. I said, well, I want to run, but I'm going to run as a Republican. I'm very conservative. I have, you can look at my voting record. I have petition drives, whatever. I'm always down for the cause, but I was like, how can I go to the establishment when they basically told me to get lost? And they were really rude about it.
Yeah, well, exactly.
So
you don't
I was
feel
like,
very
okay,
welcome
I guess
there.
I'll start my own thing. It took its own life. Like I said, I think we fielded a lot of candidates. Most of them won. And that's when things really got off the rails, I think, for the Republican Party in Madison County. They were kind of there anyway. It exploded after a lot of them lost their primaries. And the martial arts instructor told me when I was very young, he goes, someone's true character is shown in defeat, not in victory.
You're right.
So, and I lost, like everybody, you fight good competition, you'll lose. You just got to take it good.
You have to. You got to
even in bodybuilding, I thought maybe I got a bad call. I'm respectful. I shake hands. Go about your business, man. You go
100%. Yeah. That's what life's about.
But I think people just got unhinged because their friends lost.
Yep.
And the people who lost are, still angry about it. And this gets to a very controversial thing, probably the most controversial thing that's happened in the Republican Party and maybe ever. I don't know. They'd have to go back farther. Maybe you can find something. A group of Republicans and Democrats stripped Kurt of his powers.
I do remember that, yes.
And it was led by the guys who lost their election. One of the guys who lost not only their primary for the county board seat, but his precinct committeeman primary. He lost that too. They made him the pro tem. And he really went after Kurt, went after me. I wasn't even on the board yet. He was wanting revenge. That's all it was. And then he was a lame duck. He was out of there.
Yeah.
By November. So he did some things. And I thought, okay, maybe, no one agrees with these. Even the other side, I said, maybe this will be a cathartic moment. And, we'll get together. We'll start to govern. Maybe okay, it's gone too far. I was wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
no,
you're right.
I was wrong. Like, first month, December, real combative. And then, like, when we did the vote to give Kurt his powers back, we had 10 Republicans vote for him. We'd have 11 now. We have a new board member, Frank Dickerson. Maybe more would have buyer's remorse. And 8 went with the Democrats. So the majority of Republicans on the board wanted to give Kurt his powers.
Now, here's my question, because, I'm not trying to nationalize this, but it kind of had, because at the national level, you have a very fine group, I mean numbers-wise, fine isn't small, a very small group of Republicans in the current government and federal levels that, are kind of on an axis of their own. They aren't really aligned with the whole conservative idea that the Trump party, as people come to know it as. There's that fine line. Do you think that that's really what's caused a lot of this infighting for this primary?
You're talking about in Madison County? In
Madison County. Is that same kind of idea where you're kind of having a breakaway and a little bit of infighting between the Republicans? Or in your opinion, are these folks even really Republicans or just Republicans, and I hate to say this, but in name only?
Oh, I don't use the term rhino often. I use the word uniparty. Just because a lot of people say rhino. Because I think in Madison County, there's a group of Democrats and Republicans who kind of hook up.
Okay,
to go
that's
after.
Fair. Yeah.
The real Republicans, I consider.
Yeah.
I hate saying that because there's not if you're not part of the Conservative Caucus, doesn't mean you're a real Republican. There's a lot of fine Republicans in this county who are part of our group. But there's a certain group of Republicans, their voting record shows. There's 6 Republicans on the board who never vote with Kurt. Just guaranteed. Boom. No matter what he does. They've turned down all kinds of qualified people for appointments, like TJ Callahan, who you had earlier. Yeah. Very impressive guy. PhD, vice president of a big company. He's a mayor. We need a mayor on the MCT board. Didn't appoint him. Can you wrap your head around that? Like,
No.
we turned down a guy to PhD
Yeah.
for the same thing in MCT. Dwight K, 3-time state rep, CEO of Cassins, not qualified for the MCT board. Yeah, I think 5 Republicans voted against him, and 6 Democrats, and 10 Republicans voted for him, and 1 Democrat did. So it was a deadlock. So we didn't get the tie. But I'm like, okay, you turned down a PhD.
Okay.
You turned down a former CEO and state rep. I mean, could Kurt bring back Lee Iacocca and Henry Ford from the grave and then not get on the MCT board either? I mean, what?
That's true.
It says that we were into the territory of the absurd.
Yeah.
Because as a county board member, I'm going to vote on someone's resume.
Exactly.
Okay, you're in front of me because the thing is, certain officials go too far. They're like, okay, they turn into a prosecuting attorney against the person.
You're right.
Kurt appoints, and then they turn into a defense attorney without a lot of facts for the person. He's just trying to replace. It's an expired appointment. No one's getting removed. Mm-hmm. And then it got so bad. There's a famous lawsuit.
Yeah.
Randy Presswood's made a lawsuit against his old employer and 2 county board members. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say anything that hasn't been in the paper, but I will say I'm not surprised it happened. I'm just surprised it took that long. Mm-hmm. Because the first government relations committee of the new board, they just really went after him. Representative Mike Babcock. This is all on audio, by the way. I'm not going to say anything here that can't be backed up on tape.
That's one thing.
He really started making reference to having his personnel records. One of Randy's political adversaries, no longer on the board, was in the crowd, sent by a bunch of his appointed elected officials in countywide office. I wasn't at the meeting. I came towards the end of it because I had a committee meeting afterwards. I just thought things would run smooth and we were over to fight, and I didn't know it was going to turn into that. And he really went after him, and people were walking out disgusted. We changed the way we do appointments because of the conduct of this meeting.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because the conduct, you're 100% right. I mean,
Right.
even before I came over here to do the show here, I was in St.
Right.
Louis at an AM station. And I mean, it was to a point where Madison County board meetings were on the local news all the time. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was just like, this is not the right way to make news.
Sure.
And it wasn't the right way to make news. That's just me.
And that was the start of it. And then, another county board member said she met with these employers and they completely trashed him too and said some things about him. She sat down on the board floor.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, it's getting bad.
Yeah.
I tried to call the head of MESD like once, and that was it. I'm like, I'm not touching this situation. It's getting hot. The way they're talking about getting someone's work records, really going after somebody. I'm like, this isn't going to have a good ending. And then in the May meeting, we put Dwight up for the MCT board, and I wish there was audio of this meeting. The look and anger on some of these people's faces. The audio is funny enough, but they wouldn't vote Dwight down. They said he kind of hurt their feelings. They used that word exactly. And there's other board members like, I know your feelings are hurt, but he's really qualified.
They hurt his feelings.
He hurt their feelings because he criticized how they conducted themselves in Randy's interview in a press release, which everybody in the building did. We changed the way we do it. Mm-hmm. So they wouldn't vote for him for that. And then Randy spoke at the meeting because he said I was attacked and bullied by board members. And then Mick Madison, this is on audio too, he made a reference to he said we received some information from the employer. And I think that was the last straw that broke.
Yeah.
So the lawsuit happened. Everybody knew it was going to happen. It's a shame it happened. It's just a shame that you would mistreat someone up for appointment like that, because as a county board member, like I said, I'm not a congressman. I have a little bit of power over this. When I got that microphone, I got the media. I can really make people feel bad and then kind of bully them, for lack of a better term. So
yeah.
And then there was really no pivot after that. They just kept going because Kurt kept trying to replace this person with somebody new, and they just wouldn't have it, man. It's like they declared war. They attacked me, they attacked John, they attacked Kurt. So it was just over a simple appointment. We're just trying to appoint somebody. We weren't trying to remove anybody or do anything awful. It's just your term's over.
Well, and how frustrating, because to me, I mean, it seems like you're all this infighting stalls growth and stalls things that you're able to achieve and try to work and make better. Is that kind of the notion too, that we're wasting time on all these board meetings?
Wasting tons of time. And the thing is, CJ, I don't know where a lot of these people stand on issues because it's never about that. It's never been about that with them, because it's just about personality. Well, this person. Well, Kurt appointed you, and this person's my friend. And so it's just, I don't know where they stand.
Yeah.
Like Mick Madison, we have conversations. I think in his heart, he's a good conservative. For whatever reason, at this point in his career, it's about getting rid of Kurt.
Yeah.
Blocking appointments for Kurt. So I just think there's a board members that got elected in 2020 and got appointed by Kurt, actually. Since they've got on, they've just dedicated their political career to going after him and his appointees. And it's not what they ran on. If they want to run on this to their voters, be like, we are Republicans, but we're going to vote just to block the chairman's agenda, and we're going to basically go after anybody appoints or any board members that support him. There's Republicans who were used on and I'll show you after the meeting.
Yeah.
There's Republicans' hateful statements towards the chairman that were used on Democrat mailers last election cycle. Can you believe that?
That's pretty. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing for them. And I talked to him about it. I'm like, you're on a Democrat mailer. How does that make you feel?
And you know, do you have a moment to stick around? I want to keep talking.
Sure.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. It's 10:42. Our conversation will keep going right after this on RiverBender. Get over here.com.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got Joey.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior, gear up with Falcommit and elevate your hunting experience. From rugged gear for the seasoned hunter to adorable outfits for the little ones, we've got your whole family covered. Literally, because the best moments are made in the great outdoors. And with Falcommit, you're not just wearing gear, you're wearing the stories of your adventures. Discover the joy of hunting together. Visit RiverBender.com and outfit your family for the next generations of memories.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 1044, a little bit of change. President's Day on RiverBender.com. You know what what's amazing to me is there are still a lot of places open today. I thought, isn't this like the day we're all supposed to be closed and everyone gets the day off? You know?
Not anymore, man.
Wild.
There's less and less national holidays, man.
It's really sad. I always like, having that time to reflect, and talk about some presidents.
The grind of the American workforce is pretty brutal. If you talk about how much we work compared to other countries,
it's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
100% terrible. As we're getting back to this conversation, there's a lot of really interesting components to the Madison County Republicans because, we talked, I like your term, the uniparty. I mean,
that's what it is.
Really appropriate, actually, and a lot better than Rhino. I like that a lot better.
Yeah, it's more original, huh?
It is more original. Right. So let's talk a little bit more about this Conservative Caucus a little bit more. And the reason I'm curious is, did the Conservative Caucus make an endorsement on the chairman's race, or are they staying out of it? How does that work?
Glad you brought that up. The chairman is not an official member of the Conservative Caucus. We are backing him.
Okay.
We like his policies. He's done great for the voters, not just conservative, all constituents of Madison County with his policies. We want to see him get another term. And I think we are the gold standard of conservatism in Madison County now. We check all the boxes and, we're for parents' rights, freedom of religion. We are pro-life. We're not going to go down the abortion rabbit hole. We could. That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, but we want the most efficient government for the people. No favors to your friends, no giving somebody a bid without, multiple bids, just, not hiring people based off who they know, but off skills and merit. Mm-hmm. When things get away from hiring people on merit,
yeah,
you go off the rails.
And now, if you don't mind me asking,
Sure.
we just had Chain Gang on. We were talking about the contract that went out for litter pickup. What are your thoughts on that one?
I've been talking to those guys a lot. We're going to it's Chris Ducliffe, our guy for zoning. He's done a great job trying to work with them. It's going to have to get to the point to where there's going to have to be some kind of fines by a law enforcement body. As a county board, I can't write a fine.
Right.
Guys like Rusty, he's an intense guy. Guys like that make the community go around. He's really interested in this,
Now, the other I had was about the contract that went for the mitigation or the cleanup.
Sure.
It went over to a St. Louis-based company. We had a local company. What are your thoughts on that? Even though the bid was cheaper, it was a $200
that's tough.
cheaper.
You want to give it local, but it was cheaper. And,
$200.
And maybe they'll rebid and they'll be even better for next time. They'll start competing with each other.
That was just my question for you about that, because that is something that does a lot of people are interested in.
And that's
seems like
basic government. We need to fix that.
Yeah.
So Rusty and all them are right. I don't mind taking a beating as a county board member for not stopping that. So they can come in and
how
give it to us.
refreshing is it to hear that, though? Because but honestly, whenever I do ask those questions on the show a lot, there's a deflection, and it's interesting and it's amazing.
It needs taken care of.
Really, that's really incredible.
Basic function of government.
Now, as we're getting back to the county chairman race, and just the county-wide races in general, you aren't a primary. You're in a safe zone, correct?
Well, I imagine I'll get somebody slated with me.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
I know for a fact. Establishment Republicans even went to Democrats to try to get against me as a Republican, and they just wouldn't do it. No Republican in the Collinsville want to run against me. Like, Paul's good, he votes good. You guys don't like him, but he's a good conservative.
Yeah,
and it's a shame too, because it's all about because I'm connected to Kurt. It's not about my voting record saying I'm a bad conservative. No one's going to say that.
Now, how is the Republican? And this is where I'm having the hardest time. And I know the answer, but I just want a little bit more clearance on this. What are the principles that are different from the Republican Party than the Conservative Party, if you don't mind me asking?
Like I said, a lot of the rank and file Republicans, the precinct committee people, and a lot of their elected officials, they are good conservatives, but a lot of the power brokers and the top of the food chain in the mass Republican Party, they will work with Democrats and not just to beat us, and they won't focus on conservative issues that our voters care about. Mm-hmm. They just want the W's.
And another question I have, and that's what I wanted to know, because
they'll use Democrats. They'll team up with Democrats to beat us. They don't even hide it. To get back to the chairman's race, once again, me and Chris's personal relationship, if he's in here, we'd be interacting good. But I just got a question. Why has he gotten thousands of dollars from Democrats donated to him? People are talking about donations, some questionable ones Kurt got. Well, okay, why were thousands of dollars of Democrats? Why are 3 Democrat mayors in the county?
Mm-hmm. Why are they
supporting
vendor list,
Chris?
Correct? That came out the other day. Okay.
But he's got Democrats who support him. The one Democrat mayor threw him a fundraiser. So why do you have thousands of dollars of Democrats donating to you? I mean, we all have Democrat friends.
Right.
We part ways ideologically.
Right.
My best friend in local government is a Democrat who serves. I went to high school with him. Great human being. But we just part ways ideologically. He's never donated any money to me.
Yeah, and that's a great question, and honestly, something that I'm sure Republican voters and especially Republicans in the county would be interested on as well.
Sure.
Is there a way to find that information?
You can look on you could probably. It's a Sunshine app. That's what I got for following people's donations. But you can look them up. You could Google. It's information. No one's hiding anything.
Right, and that's what I wanted.
It's out in the open. I like that too. So.
Yeah, and that's one thing to point out. I mean, it's not hidden. It is out in the open to find. And how important is it? Because Paul, and this is one thing that amazes me. There's so many people that weigh in on the county-wide races.
Sure,
but they have no idea how the county government operates.
No,
is that something that you pick up a lot of the time? Because that's just me as an observer.
And the thing is too, I was bad about that before I got involved locally. Everybody's transfixed on national politics, which is good. It's good to be informed.
Yeah.
They don't really realize what's going on locally, which has more impact.
Thank you.
Because honestly, I'm behind the 8 ball on national stuff to a point, like I used to be.
Right.
So when I go knocking doors, someone will tell me something I didn't know about, something national. I go, I'm focused on the county. it's kind of my job. Only so many hours in a day. I work full time, and
you segued this perfectly, because to me, I think that, and this is my opinion, but it seems like in the county race, there's some points that have become national issues or issues that maybe we have experienced a little bit of, but we kind of nationalize them. And the way I look at it, and it could be for anything, whether it's immigration or any of those type of hot topic issues. How hard is it for you as a county board member? Because you're right, local issues are most important,
right?
But I'm sure your constituents do want to hear about if there's a chance a national issue could impact you here locally.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Take me through that.
We have a board member, Mike Turner, put together a resolution about the migrant situation we're going to vote on Wednesday.
Okay.
Just kind of, to pump the brakes on it. I wish we could, but we can't absorb, hundreds, maybe thousands of migrants in Madison County who, don't have a place to stay, probably aren't fluent in the language. We'd see our schools, and we just don't have the resources here to absorb that.
Now,
I wish we did, but we just don't. I mean, no system can be overwhelmed by this.
Now, is this a preventative measure?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a preventative measure, and it's a tough call. No one wants to turn anybody, the poor from another country comes away, but we just cannot absorb.
No, 100%.
This kind of people.
But I just wanted to clarify that because I think some folks thought that this was currently a major crisis here, but this is a preventative measure, correct?
It's a preventative measure, and my thing is they're in Chicago. That's not far.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter, I think it's just going to happen sometime. We need a preventive measure like counties like Effingham have. Mm-hmm. Counties all around the state have put together this, so we're just following suit on what I think is a good idea. Maybe some people don't.
Yeah, it's just curious to know, because that's what I wanted clarification if it was preventative and it makes sense. The other thing that you guys have that I think is really challenging is you have to realize that there are issues in local municipal governments that I'm sure you get calls on or some type of questions asked. What's the translation there? Because even though you're a county board member, your input, I'm sure, does have some weight if it involves your district.
Yeah, if I hear something, I'll call up, some city councilman from Collinsville. City manager Derek Jackson's really good, really, really smart guy. We have great leadership all around in Collinsville.
Yeah,
and Maryville too. I'm part of Maryville. I have 2 precincts there, so I definitely keep an eye on things there. That's another well-run city.
Yeah, it is, and I'm telling you. And here's
great
my
place
thought.
to live.
I just saw Revolution to open. That's going to be hopefully some good dollars into the local economy too. That's always look for impact there economically.
Look for business. Yeah, we did some good things downtown. Put the old Herald in. That's kind of revitalized the nightlife and the restaurant life downtown Collinsville. Mungo's just went in there.
Yeah,
great
I saw
Italian
that
restaurant.
Oh, I love it. I'm telling you what, makes my Italian blood happy, Paul.
Yeah, I'm half Italian. I don't look at you like this guy. You know
what's
look
funny?
at that last name, you're like, look at this guy.
Well, you know what's funny is I was the only one in my family. My great-grandmother was Northern Italian. My great-grandfather was Sicilian, so they had to leave town pretty quick, back in the day. And
the rivalry.
I'm the only one that has the pasty skin from the Northern Italians. Everyone else got the olive oil in the family.
You got the dark hair.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Paul, we've been talking for about 40 minutes, and I appreciate your time, but I'm running low on time.
Yeah, let's wrap. Can we talk about some of the primary races?
Let's talk about it.
Well, we got Mike Turner, like I told you about. He's running in Godfrey for a seat. Great man. This guy's a good kid. He's former Marine. Mm-hmm. He's a good family man. He's got a great record on the board. He's putting this migrant resolution together. That's probably the most important thing I'll vote on. He's just a great guy. You would think the Republican establishment would get behind him. They're not. They grabbed, someone who's a lifelong Democrat, and there's nothing against the woman personally. Mm-hmm. It's just when I heard she was running, I'm like, she's going to run against Mike as a Democrat. Okay, it's going to be a fairly close race. They're like, no, she's running as a Republican. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
I'm like, like I said, I welcome Democrats to become Republicans. Okay, you saw the light. I'll help you on your campaign if it's an open seat.
Right.
But why would you replace a great Republican with a good voting record with someone who's just recently decided to become a Republican? Not only that, but the Republican machine got behind her. So I'm like, huh.
That's interesting.
And everybody likes Mike. He's not, I'm more of the polarizing figures on the board. Mike's not a nice guy, quiet guy. Mm-hmm. Works though. He's a worker.
Yeah.
He's behind the scenes working.
Well, and that's interesting that you say that. What are some of the other ones that you're interested in?
Well, Dwight Kay, they turned him down for the MCT board, and he's been following politics. He's like, I just want to get involved. The shenanigans that go on this board is just unreal. So he's running Skip Schmidt. He's not running again. Some health issues going on there. He's just going to kind of retire and enjoy his life, which Skip's a great guy.
He had a great tenure.
Oh, yeah. Skip, he's been in local government for a long time. He's lived an interesting life. He played professional tennis. I mean, what a guy. So Dwight's going to run. He's running against Fred Schulte. agree. Once again, Fred's a good guy. But I mean, how can you compete with Dwight's resume?
Right.
The guy's just knowledgeable. He's an asset anywhere he goes. Then Doug Matthews is running in Glen Carbon against Jason Palmero. I like Jason as a person. We get along good. We talk on the phone. We vote differently a lot. He voted not to put P-Tail on the ballot. I think with that vote, whether I was for P-Tail or not, I didn't come out and say, but I'm definitely for putting it on the ballot.
Right.
Because people are like, our voters sent us here to make those calls. I said, this is 34 pages. It's not hard, okay? This isn't complex like you guys are saying. I've read it front to cover.
Right.
They can vote on it.
Yeah.
And to take that out of there, it's not 3,400 pages. It's 34 pages, and they can most definitely read it. And I know a lot of the people I talk to have good intention. I know a lot of board members didn't read it. They were just against it because Kurt was. So, Jason voted against putting that on the ballot. And just some of his votes on appointments. He thinks you should keep people in if their appointment's expired. I don't know. That's the one thing I said. I do like Jason. We'll talk about it as time goes on. I was just like, man, if someone's got a good resume, why wouldn't you just vote to appoint them? Is it keeping someone on in an expired appointment is just crazy to me. There's people whose appointment's been expired 2-3 years. They're still on. They're still getting paid. And I've been saying it a lot in meetings. I don't know if you listen. I'm like, you guys are kind of defaulting into lifetime appointments for your friends and some people.
That's true.
You just, I mean, all the qualified people you've turned down.
You're right.
It says it all. And if you want to do that, tell your constituents that. Don't, run on what you're actually doing. Don't, like if you're a Republican, don't say you're some fiscal conservative. You're for, low government, and then you go. You go out and you vote for big spenders and then you lifetime appointments.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Right.
And now, Paul, is there anything else that we're forgetting about right now?
I'm trying to think. I talked about Mike's race. Oh, Linda Wolf's run against Ryan Needler. She's a really impressive lady, too. She started a Conservative Women's Coalition. She wanted to get involved. Ryan's seat's open. I said, Ryan, me and him get along really good. I sit by him. He's got a pretty good voting record, but I think Linda would be just a good voice. She's really popular, grassroots within the community. She would be for great conservative values. I think she's a great choice too.
Absolutely. And Paul, you're welcome back. Seriously, anytime, man. This is just getting going, and that door is always open for you. Anytime you want to come on and fill us in on anything going on.
Before I go, I got to talk about Terry and Bob Coles. Okay. And Bob Coles, that's another impressive guy.
Yeah, one of the most respected men in Madison.
Oh, man, yeah. If you look at his resume, you're like, who's more qualified to be on the board than him?
Yeah.
So he's been paying attention to local government for a while. He's been seeing some things going on the board. He goes, man, these guys, they're not doing what their voters say.
Yeah.
Then Terry had some things to say about a lot of elected officials in South Roxana, and Bob's like, okay, I'm in this guy's district. I'm going to run. I'm going to do good things for the people. I'm not going to vote on personality. I'm not going to slander people. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to, do good things for a community, because a lot of people, there's about 4 members of the board who get really, really aggressive, and they just go that extra mile on people.
Really?
I don't care if they do it to me. I know what I signed up for.
Right,
I remember what they did to me when I was appointed, but like when you do it to private citizens, like when Terry spoke out of turn about Bob and that, township, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You got to have all the facts, and it's recorded. It's out there, whether it's, he didn't even apologize.
Well,
so.
And too, we touched on that this morning with TJ's interview, a couple of moments of it, and you're 100% right. There was no founded claims.
No, it was terrible. You're speaking, you didn't know, you disparaged somebody, and I think it's within the institution, almost institutionalized that some of these elected officials, you can just go after somebody.
Yeah.
Just because Kurt appointed them, or maybe you don't like them, you can just go completely scorched earth.
Yeah.
On them, and that's not good. We're getting sued over it, and I thought maybe that would slow people down. Maybe it has a little, but I don't know.
We'll find out, Paul.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. Man, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Thanks for having me on.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.
We are out of time today. We'll come back more of our daily show tomorrow, live at 9. So on that note, enjoy your families. Enjoy a little bit of a warmer day in the 618, but most importantly, just try your best to stay out of jail.